For decades, the skies have been a symbol of freedom, progress, and human achievement. Air travel connects us across oceans. Boeing has long been synonymous with aviation. Since its inception in 1916, it has revolutionized air travel, setting the standard for safety, reliability, and innovation. Across the Atlantic, Airbus, Boeing's biggest rival, was gaining momentum. In 2010, Airbus launched the A320neo, a game-changing aircraft that promised airlines greater fuel efficiency. Boeing couldn't afford to lose ground. Their solution? Rather than designing an entirely new aircraft, they decided to modify their best-selling plane, the 737. The 737 MAX was launched with much fanfare. It looked like a triumph for Boeing. Airlines placed massive orders, and the plane seemed destined to be another icon in Boeing's proud history. But hidden behind this success story, to make the 737 MAX more fuel-efficient, Boeing installed larger, heavier engines. This altered the plane's aerodynamics, causing it to behave differently from earlier models, especially during steep. But here's the critical oversight. MCS relied on a single sensor, called the angle of attack sensor, to determine whether the plane was in danger of stalling. If this sensor malfunctioned, October 29, 2018, Lion Air Flight 610, a brand new Boeing 737 MAX, took off from Jakarta, Indonesia. Moments into the flight, the world was horrified. How could such a disaster happen to one of the most advanced planes in the sky? Investigators began looking into the cause, and soon the truth about MCAS began to emerge. But even as doubts were raised, Boeing's assurances seemed to calm the storm for a while. Airlines continued to operate the 737 MAX, and Boeing's executives believed the crisis could be contained. But this sense of security was tragically short-lived. On March 10, 2019, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 took off from Addis Ababa. Just 6 minutes into the flight, the plane crashed into a field, killing all 157 people on board. The circumstances were eerily similar. This second crash sent shockwaves through the aviation world. Within hours, countries around the globe grounded the 737 MAX. The aircraft that had once been Boeing's pride was now grounded indefinitely. Investigators turned their attention. In a series of investigations, Boeing executives were called to testify before Congress. Internal documents showed that Boeing had rushed the 737 MAX into production to compete with Airbus. The pressure to deliver quickly led to the human toll of these crashes was devastating. Families of the victims were left heartbroken, and the world demanded answers. Lawsuits flooded in, and Boeing found itself facing one of the. Boeing was now fighting for its survival. The company worked to redesign the MCAS system, adding additional safeguards, including inputs from multiple sensors, and ensuring pilots would be able to manually override the system if necessary. After nearly 2 years, in December 2020, the FAA and other global aviation authorities recertified the 737 MAX, allowing it to return to service. But Boeing's image had been forever tarnished. The recertified 737 MAX, despite being declared safe, many passengers were reluctant to fly on the 737 MAX. Airlines went so far as to allow passengers to switch flights if they were uncomfortable flying on the plane. Boeing faced an uphill battle to rebuild. Today, the Boeing 737 MAX flies once more, but the scars of its past remain. Boeing has learned hard lessons from this crisis, lessons about the dangers of cutting corners, of prioritizing profit over safety, and as the 737 MAX continues to fly, it does so under a cloud of caution and reflection. The story of Boeing's 737